Shalom, it's me, Baht Of Zion, and today I'm coming to you with another reaction video, Royal Family. And today we're going to be speaking about Mr. Wellington Dickens III, who is a military veteran at the age of 38 of Zebulon, North Carolina, which is Johnson County. Okay? And he's been charged in connection with the deaths of 4 children. But they're not any ordinary children. These are actually his children, and one of which is his stepchild. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you a brief rundown before we jump into today's news clip. Okay? Now, Mr. Wellington, he definitely called 911 on himself and reported the crime to the authorities, which would be the dispatcher on duty. He confessed to doing this heinous crime against his children, as I stated. And I do, family, have that audio recording that I'm going to play for you here on Baht Of Zion. Okay? Now, the deputies, they did respond to that home for the phone call from Mr. Dickens. All right? And they found his 3-year-old child alive in the home. However, the child's siblings were definitely offed by his father. And also, they did discover the human remains in the trunk of the vehicle inside of the garage, which you will definitely hear Mr. Wellington stating that information to the dispatcher on the recorded line. Okay? And I also want to put out there that CPS, Children's Protective Services, they have been to the home multiple times for the children of ages 6, 9, and 10. And as I stated, the stepchild, who should be around 18, 17 years old. Okay? And the investigators, they do believe that the death occurred between several months, but starting at the month of May of this year, 2025, rather than a mass murder all at one time. Prior investigations by social services had occurred within the family's history as well. Now, before we go ahead and jump into the news clip, family, I do want to state that Mr. Wellington, he does follow the NT, which some of you prefer to call it as the New Testament. And he has mentioned about the book of Revelations, as stated, the mark of the beast 666 on court documentations is what made him take his own children's lives. Let's go ahead and jump into our first news clip of the evening, and then afterwards we're going to definitely jump into the 911 call made from Mr. Wellington.
CBS 17 is digging deeper into the past of Wellington Dickens III.
Yeah, the father of 5 is accused of killing his 4 children, then hiding their bodies. Court records reveal a pattern of religiously driven lawsuits against hospitals and county agencies years before the tragedy. CBS 17 Shabnam Dinesh is live at the federal courthouse in downtown Raleigh. And Shab, you've been digging into those past lawsuits and what they reveal about Dickens' mindset.
Oh, yes, I have. Wellington Dickens III filed 2 federal lawsuits that were centered on his religious beliefs. Now, while both of them were dismissed, they paint a picture of a man who believed he was acting on God's instructions. It's a belief that would later take a very dark turn. In 2018, Dickens sued Wake Med and Wake County.
Now, family, I'm going to go ahead and stop you real quick, but we're definitely going to continue. Now, Mr. Wellington Dickens, he stated that he believes he removed his children from the earth based off of Yah's command. And I want to definitely point that out as a Torah Tanakh Israelite only monotheistic, is that Yahweh will never ever asks you to offer up a human sacrifice. He actually condemns those type of practices to include the people who practice them. Now, the only time that you hear of a human sacrifice is when you are dealing, once again, inside of the New Testament. Definitely pseudepigraphica literature. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and take you to the only precepts within the Tanakh literature known as Torah, where the Most High, Yahweh, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, spoke directly against this foolishness. Okay? Now, please turn your attentions to your fundamental Torah precept, which is going to be Genesis chapter 9, verse 6. And it states, "Whoever sheds the blood of a man, by man shall his blood be shed, for in his image did Yah make man." So, family, to murder one's own seed is to war against Yahweh, which definitely is what Mr. Dickerson displayed whenever he decided to make the deal with Molech and end his own children's lives. Wellington mirrored the spirit of Molech once again, where parents offered their sons and daughters to the fire. Now let's go ahead and continue this news clip.
Saying the hospital violated his faith by performing tests on his newborn daughter after he and his wife refused needles, vaccines, and medications on their baby due to religious beliefs. Child Protective Services then got involved after they left without proper hospital discharge. 1 year earlier, he sued Durham County over child support. He argued a federal law, 42 U.S. Code Section 666, violated his faith because of the number 666, which he called the mark of the beast. Both cases were
Now I want to pause it right there. Now it states where he put on his own documentation this mark of the beast, or numbers 666. Now, you should already know, well, not a lot of us apparently, but those with great common sense and wisdom should know that certain statutes pertaining to whichever state you are in, they do come in numerical order, some with different numbers or whatnot, and this very well, 666, may be one of those numbers. Now, what you also need to understand is these are considered as chapters when it comes to the legislation part, okay? Now, if your child is being administered any type of drugs throughout the needle that is like blockage for communicable diseases or chicken pox and things like that, the same type of drugs that you were implemented with when you were younger to help your immune system fight off diseases, what makes you think that the state, the doctor's offices are not going to offer your children the same exact thing? Now, what they did do, which we all know this to be true, when it comes to COVID, family, they offered vaccines for a mass community, right? And you did have the decision to say yes or no, I want to take this drug, or yes or no, I want to give this drug to my child. This type of dosage right here, as far as what the health department, the health services, or wherever he was at with his children, which they were administering, was specific to his child's age group. It didn't have anything to do with no COVID shot. Okay? So once again, when you find yourselves wrapped up in reading fairy tales and things of that nature, specifically the book of the Revelations within a pseudepigraphica fake doctrine, then yes, you are allowing yourself and your spirit to be accessible to demons. And those demons inside of that book, unfortunately, is Molech. Okay? All right, but let's continue because we do have some more we need to get into.
Dismissed. Now, fast forward to this year. Dickens confessed to killing his 4 children when he called 911, telling the dispatcher, quote, God influenced his actions. Now, investigators say he killed each of those 4 children separately over the summer, then hid their bodies in the trunk of his car. The remaining surviving child, his 3-year-old son, is now in custody of Child Protective Services. Reporting live.
Now, I would like to stop this one more time, family, because this situation is very much serious, but it is more so serious in the Hebrew Israelite community, because of the fact that you already have us in a under a microscope, right, where other people are watching and mimicking and seeing the way that we are behaving, the things that we push out there. So this is one of those things, this specific thing right here, especially when he's consistently talking about religion and the precepts and God made him do it, okay? Things like that is put under a microscope, and it doesn't just target this one man. It actually targets the Hebrew Israelite community as a nation, okay? But once again, you have to be mindful that all Israelites, we do not believe the same thing. Okay? Now, this young man, he clearly co-signs and is pushing New Testament, okay? Now, other Israelites, such as myself, we are only pushing Torah within the Tanakh, okay? And that is what the Most High, Yahweh, who is the Creator alone, gave us to follow. We do not follow any man-made God, which is a pagan deity, such as Yahusha, Yahawashai, or JC, the Christ, as y'all like to say in the religions, okay? We do not do that. But what we do is understand Leviticus 18 verse 21, where it states, do not allow any of your offspring to be offered up to Molech, and do not profane the name of your Yah. I am Yahweh, okay? So this is stating to you very, very clearly, family, royal family, I would hope that are watching this, is that you do not offer up your children, such as Mr. Wellington did, through the fire. You don't do that at all. You do not offer up your children to pay a debt for something that you possibly may have or may not have done. And as you continue to go on with today's recording, you're definitely going to hear that this man was on a hefty amount of drugs. He stated, which was smoking marijuana, and also on shrooms and ice. Okay, so whenever you involve your body and allow your body to be accessible to those type of drugs, family, do you not understand you cannot control your mentals, okay? And the fact that you allowed yourself to make that conscious decision to go and pick up those drugs and put them inside of your bloodstreams, now that shows that Yah allowed you to do what? Follow behind your flesh God, right? Follow your flesh God's ways and take on all types of abhorrent practices known to him, but Yah never once again gave you that. Let's continue.
In downtown Raleigh, Shabnam Dinesh, CBS 17 News.
Just heartbreaking. All right, Shab, thanks for the update. All
right, now that specifically is definitely heartbreaking, as they said. It truly, truly is, okay? Now, he done got his self in a situation, Silica, where his last only remaining child, the 3-year-old, has been turned over to social services. Now, after settling in the land where Yah is driving you, family, you will begin to understand more into Deuteronomy 12, verse 30 through 31, which is where we're about to go next. And this is another Torah law, okay? And it states, beware of being lured into their ways, meaning those other nations that serve false gods. after they have been wiped out before you. Do not inquire about their gods, saying, how did those nations worship their God? I too will follow those practices. You shall not act just towards Yahweh, your Elohei God, for they perform for their gods every abhorrent act that Yahweh detests. They even offer up their sons and daughters in the fire to their gods. Now, family, what I want you to pay attention to is this part right here, okay? Where it states, you shall not act just towards Yahweh, your Elohei God, for they perform their gods every abhorrent act that Yahweh detests. So, what Yah is specifically saying right here is that you do not worship me. You do not give me human sacrifices the same way that they do those sacrifices in those religions, those religionalized cults that they practice and perform for their gods, because Yahweh is not like man. Yahweh is not man. So Yahweh will not ask you to feed him. He will not tell you he's hungry. You will never know when Yah wants a meal. You will never know when Yah's stomach is growling, because Yah, he's not man. He's not flesh. Okay? So every single time that you take yourselves to those Baal shrines, which would be the church's family, and you notice all of those are set around communities, right? Every single street you turn, make a right turn at the red light or a left turn at the yellow light, whatever the case may be, and you notice that there's a shrine, a Baal shrine, every single place, right? And they're probably sometimes within walking distance of each other, right? So those Baal shrines are right there to entice you and invite you to bring your flesh inside of those temples, okay, and allow your spirit to be consumed and be used by Molech, and for you to sit here and continually worship Molech in the way that you may perceive Yah is telling you to worship him, okay? Yah is not telling you that I want you to sacrifice anybody. He's never said that. The only way that you get that messed up doctrine is going to be once again from New Testament, where the so-called Christ, whom we should know by now is Christos, okay, who is a whole man. Once again, he was never the Son, the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. It ain't none of that. It's none of that, okay? That is Molech, okay? It's Molech. So when you're doing things such as Mr. Wellington has done, okay, you have signed a contract with Hashatan, Molech, Baphomet, however you want to say it, Azazel, whatever you want to say. You have done that. You have paired your soul with the devil, okay? You've done that. Now, we're going to go ahead and jump into this 911 call, family. And after we hear this call, I'm going to go ahead and end this content. All right? Let's go ahead.
911, location of emergency.
Yes, got an emergency. But it's not an emergency, but just have a confession.
Okay.
It's horrible.
Okay, what's your address?
If I could, I got my son here. He's with me. It's no issue. But if you could honestly come with no issues, I don't have no gun. I don't have nothing like that. I don't plan on doing nothing crazy. I just would like to make the scene as less profile as possible. But if you need to do what you got to do, if you want to get crazy, that's fine. But I'm just letting you know what my purpose would be. I'm not an issue, but it is a problem, and just having my mind is just thinking I need to do this because it's just the right thing to do. And
okay, I got you. What's your address here? Where are you?
I'm at 101 Spring 2 Drive.
Okay. And tell me a little bit what's going on out there.
Man, I murdered my children, a couple of my children, a couple of months ago. They're in my garage, man. I murdered my children, not all of them.
Okay.
I had one that I accidentally killed first by hitting her excessively.
Okay.
And I was nervous about her, and I was trying to manipulate my children and make them make a decision that I was supposed to make. And so,
okay. All right.
I'm no threat, man. I'll be wherever you need me to be. If you want me to be outside before, I don't got no. I'm planning on just letting myself. I never been. This is totally new for me.
Understood.
And I'm not blaming nobody but myself.
Okay. I just want to verify how many in total were there.
I have my daughter, my youngest daughter.
Okay. Is it one? Is that correct?
No.
How many in total?
No. There's 3 of mine and my stepson, and everybody. I mean, it was my fault. Everybody, it was my fault for everything.
Okay. So I want you to just hang tight here while I get you some help into the area, okay?
They in the trunk. They in the trunk of my car in the garage, to be specific. And I was just out of my mind. Nobody made me do nothing. It was all me. And I was just up from the first one, and I lost my mind. I wasn't thinking right. I was on the drugs, and I was smoking, drinking. I was doing ice, everything.
Got it, okay. I want you to hold on one moment because
everything. Mushrooms. I was on a lot of stuff.
Okay. I want you to hold on one moment here, since you are in a county jurisdiction.
All of it out there, coke.
Got it. We're going to try to get a trooper. Listen to me, okay? One second. We're going to try to get a trooper out there, deputy out there to you.
I might have missed something.
I understand. We're going to try to get a deputy out there to you here. I want you to hold on 1 second, okay?
I killed my children. It's a lot to explain, but in a nutshell, it's all my fault. I'm not even going. It's my fault. It's bad. I didn't hurt them on some when I say just kill, I didn't use knives or nothing to cut nobody or shoot nobody or nothing. It started out as me over disciplining. That's it. And leaving them out to eat, leaving stuff out to eat, it's a lot of stuff.
Okay, and sir, how did you do it? Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how did you do it?
I beat on them sometimes. They didn't want to eat. I didn't force them to eat. I told them that it was a punishment not to eat. I did a bunch of different little things. I thought I was trying to. It's a lot of things, and I'm trying to just do the right thing because I left some. I tried to call a lawyer earlier, but I could have maybe called a lot more lawyers. I just did one. I should have just started calling all of them, and just trying to basically I was basically trying to turn myself in without it being extra, but
all right, family, and before we definitely close out for this evening, I do want to state to you where he stated that he was high once again on all types of drugs, right? And he used food as some type of weapon against his children. He stated how he wanted to manipulate the kids to make decisions for him as an adult. Okay, he accidentally ended his daughter's life through excessive force by beatings, and he over disciplined the kids as a whole. Okay, so whenever you find yourself, both men and women, in a situation where you cannot effectively parent your children or govern your children as you should be able to do within your home, but when you cannot do it effectively, you definitely reach out to either a guardian of your own stature that you may trust, or a guardian whom your children are familiar with that your children may trust, and you ask them to come over and relieve those duties for you. The problem that we have within our community is how I've stated multiple times on podcasts. We want to remove the elders from helping us take care of home. That is the problem. Okay, and when you do things like that, you wind yourself up in situations like this, because you have to remember his Isha is deceased. Okay, she's not there to be able to take care and discipline the children. She's not there, so all this is on the man now, right? So you allow other people to come to help you so you won't find yourself in situations like this. But the very, very first step is to remove yourself from the New Testament and actually follow the doctrine that Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh gave you, which is very much inside the Tanakh, and keep hold to your law, which is your law for your life's sake, the Torah. Shalom, Barakah.